I think the first time was when I was inside Biafra, which you'd have to be now rather long in the tooth to remember, the Nigerian Civil War, and also, of course, the Nigeria-Biafra War. But I was inside Biafra, and I was approached in London by a man who later became a good friend, who said, look, we have a problem. We don't have any man in any source on the ground inside the encircled enclave. So, would you help us out? Just tell us what's going on inside there. So I said, well, okay. So, but I did. For the last year of the Biafran War, I was sending reports, both journalistic reports to the media and other reports to my new friend, telling him just actually all they wanted to know was the true level of the horror that was going on in there, the thousands and thousands of dying children. I felt that was pretty controversial, but not about security, not the security of our country anyway. So I saw no harm in contributing.
But as you say, you were a correspondent then. I am old enough to remember that, and a good one. But so there were some things that you weren't putting in a newspaper, but you were telling the security people.
Yes, but basically what the security system wanted to know, apparently, was, is it true? Because the Foreign Office was denying that there were any dying children. They were passionate in supporting the dictatorship in Lagos. It was oddly enough MI6 that had a different viewpoint. And the question then at the head of government conferences and Cobra committee meetings was, should we in fact continue supporting the Nigerian dictatorship in its slaughter of its own people, or should we not? Should we discontinue and urge a ceasefire? And there was a difference of opinion, quite a few differences of opinion. There 2 ministers resigned over it. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Thomas both resigned. So this was a government that was split. I was very firmly on the side of the advisability of a ceasefire and a peace conference to end this horror. And I saw no harm, therefore, in confirming that the worst fears of what was going on inside Biafra were absolutely true. The children were dying like flies. Eventually, estimate, not by me, by relief organizations like the International Committee of the Red Cross, was that 1 million children died in there. And I was in the heart of it.
And that was your first foray. Then you went on to do things in undercover in East Germany and in Rhodesia. I mean, you were getting to be sort of not a full-time agent, but a proper agent. Were you paid for any of this?
No, of course not. Of course not. No, back then it was a different sort of, I think, probably a different attitude. The spirit of the age, as the Germans call it, the zeitgeist was different. The Cold War was very much on. Our enemy was the USSR, specifically the Politburo and the KGB. They were dangerous to us. They threatened us. And so if you were asked, look, hey, can you possibly see your way clear to do us a favor? It was very hard to say no.